let me be blunt. It's frustrating to be here today. To have a hearing on this topic at this moment, I think, is a colossal disappointment. I think it's an insult to America's farmers and ranchers, an insult to hungry families, and frankly, given what is happening in the world right now, an insult to the intelligence of anyone with a functioning brain. Where's our hearing on tariffs, Mr. Chairman? Where's our hearing on how these tariffs are going to cost farmers and ranchers billions in lost sales? Where's our hearings on how the Secretary of Agriculture went on TV this weekend and couldn't explain why we're slapping tariffs on uninhabited islands in the middle of the ocean? I mean, this stuff is nuts. Where's our hearing on how Trump and Elon Musk are shutting down the USDA phone lines, firing the staff that farmers rely on for help, and gutting the programs that connect local farms to local schools? Where's our hearing on how food prices are about to go through the roof? This administration went from promising lower prices and a better economy to promising higher prices and a recession. And just when you think it couldn't get more out of touch, they're cutting SNAP to pay for tax breaks for Trump and his billionaire buddies. So let me get this straight. You guys tank the economy, you drive up food prices, and your solution is to cut food assistance for people who already struggle to afford food? Who the hell thought that was a good idea? I mean, honestly, I'd like to meet them just so I can ask them what's wrong with them. This is literally trying to sabotage our country. You guys are setting the House on fire and slashing the fire department's budget at the same time. It is insane. And if I have to sit through one more Republican lecture about how SNAP discourages work, I might lose it. This is grade A, weapons grade stupidity. It's a lie. It was a lie the first time you said it, and it'll still be a lie the millionth time. Now let me break it down for folks at home. Most people on SNAP are kids, senior citizens, and people with disabilities. They cannot work, and we don't expect them to. Should we repeal the child labor laws? Send grandma back to the factory? And of the people who can work, the vast majority already do. So spare us the condescending talk about the dignity of work. If you guys cared about that, you'd be raising the minimum wage. But you don't. You care about demonizing poor people to score political points. And you guys can go right ahead and do that, but don't expect the rest of us to play along. And before you guys all pull out your Heritage Foundation talking points on work requirements, I just want to say to everyone watching at home, there are already very strict work requirements in SNAP and time limits for able-bodied adults. Look it up. It's the law. And by the way, SNAP benefits are paltry. We're talking $2 per meal. That's what it is now. You guys want to cut the program by $230 billion. You want to even lower that. But most of you spent more on your coffee this morning. Now, call me radical, but I don't think it's morally right to slash a food benefit that costs a sliver of the federal budget while farmers get hammered and food prices go through the roof. So if we want to talk about government waste, let's talk about the billions in tax breaks for billionaires. Let's talk about big oil subsidies. Let's talk about the Pentagon losing track of trillions. But this hearing, this bizarre obsession with punishing hungry people while ignoring the crisis facing farmers, it's a bad faith, tone-deaf, mean-spirited shtick to get you a clip on right-wing talk radio, and I'm not here for it. So shame on this committee and shame on Republicans. Ms. Schanzenbach, I'm short on time, but I have a few yes or no questions. First, are there already strict work requirements and time limits in SNAP?
Yes.
Will people be paying higher prices for food because of Trump's absurd trade war?
Yes.
And are current SNAP benefits enough to cover the cost of a meal for hungry families?
No.
I mean, and again, we're talking about a reconciliation bill coming up to cut the program by $230 billion. So that $2 per meal benefit that I just mentioned probably goes down to about $1.60. I mean, how the hell is people supposed to live on that and feed their kids and feed their families? For those who think that cuts in SNAP are a good idea, that putting more restrictions on poor people trying to feed their families is a good idea, let me make a suggestion. Stop watching so much Fox News, stop listening to right-wing think tanks, and maybe start talking to people who are on the benefit, who are struggling to basically make ends meet and to feed their families. And with that, I yield back my time.